Hello and welcome to Goa. Today we are in Panjim and then we're going to head to Old Goa. Now, we did a lot of research on our trip before we came. One of the things that we didn't take into account was the fact that this area was so Christian. We assumed that it would be some of the more Eastern religions that you associate with India. So today we're here on Good Friday and some of the places that we've tried to go to so far have been closed. So we tried to start with the State Museum and it was closed for Easter weekend. So we've come further round into the Fountainhas area of Panjim for a bit of an explore. This was former Portuguese residences within the sea. The Fountainhas is a beautiful part of Panjim. There is lots of Portuguese colonial architecture in the area. Quite often the homes are painted in pretty pastel tones. This white church in the centre of the district is also very striking. Many of the houses look like very Instagrammable backdrops. However, please consider that there are residents who live in the area. Please be respectful. Some of the homes may have no photo signs and it's easier to move on and find a different backdrop than to ruin your day arguing about photo spots. Here, as with the Guarda Fort, Elias and Clara occasionally felt like celebrities, with the odd Indian tourist asking to have their photo taken with them. From here, we then took a 10-minute walk along to a rather spectacular church. So behind me is the Church of Immaculate Conception. It's whitewashed with blue accents, which makes it quite pretty. A little bit like the State Museum, it's actually closed today for Good Friday, which is a shame, but it still looks really pretty from the outside. And Clara is actually matching because she's wearing white and blue as well. Yep. What do you think?
I think the church looks really pretty.
I've left the Fountainhas behind us below and we're currently heading up to the Maruti Temple. Climbing up the steps. It's very hot, very humid, isn't it, Clara? Yeah, so every step feels like it's 3 times the size it is. But the temple on top is absolutely beautiful, so I'm sure it'll be worth all the effort it needs. So the temple itself is Hindu and we think it's dedicated to Hanuman, and we shall no doubt find out when we get inside. It's painted this beautiful vibrant orange colour which really stands out against the green of the jungle foliage around it. So the temple itself is one main room that you can go in. Elias and I couldn't go in because we're wearing shorts, and although we've got sarongs so that we can enter temples and things, we forgot to bring them with us, which is a shame. But the girls have their legs covered, so they were able to go and have a look in. You also need to remember just temple etiquette, shoulders covered, make sure you've got your shoes off and hats off and things if that's what's required of the temples. Most temples will have clear signs to tell you sort of like when you need to do that and what point it is from beyond. We do have a couple more temples to do this afternoon. Hopefully Elias and I will be able to borrow a sarong at 1 or 2 of them so that we can see inside them as well. Otherwise we may have a couple of times where we sit out in the shade rather than being able to go in and leaving the girls to it, which will be a shame, but Definitely remember next trip we do that might have temples in to make sure that those sarongs are in our bag. Just to add as well that not all temples will let you take photographs or video inside, and this is one of them, which is why there's no footage from inside. Just us walking up and then walking back down. Here in Old Goa now, behind me we have the Basilica Bom Jesus, and we're going into the main square at the minute, heading towards some of the heritage churches. I think the churches will probably be closed with it being Easter, but they are very pretty, set in lush green gardens, and again, like the last church we saw, whitewashed. You can see some of the Portuguese influence in some of the names around here. So there's a travel company called Nunez Travel, and there's a doctor called Dr. Cunha, which are obviously very Portuguese sounding names rather than Indian sounding names. My camerawoman actually went to the doctor in between Fountainhas and here, and she managed to go, wait, get seen, and get prescribed some antibiotics for her mosquito bites in probably under 5 minutes, which is pretty much unheard of in the UK. She was given some antibiotics to take and some cream to put on, and it only cost 250 rupees, so about £2 to £2.50. So that's an absolute bargain, and like I say, in timescales that are pretty much unheard of for us Brits. Now at the St. Augustine Tower. One thing I would say is if you come to Old Goa, make sure you bring plenty of water for you. The heat is unrelenting and there's not much shade or breaks from the heat anywhere at all. It looked like if you were potentially in the grounds of the basilica itself, there might be shade under the trees, but the basilica grounds were closed today for Good Friday, and there's literally like not a shadow anywhere else, which makes it very hot. The ice creams, however, are a bargain. So Clara got a Choco Pop, which was only about 30 rupees. We got a Cola Ice Lolly, which was 20 rupees, and a butterscotch, what looked like cornetto, and that cost 70 rupees. So basically the three different ice creams, ice lollies for about £1.20, which is an absolute bargain, isn't it? And how did your ice lolly taste?
Really good.
Really good? What was it like?
Chocolatey.
Chocolatey. Was it chocolate on the outside and ice cream on the inside?
Yeah.
Yeah? Like a Magnum?
Yeah.
Yeah?
But Indian style.
Magnum but Indian style?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we head up and see the tower?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on then. The west facade of what was a church built by Augustinian friars in 1602. So it's quite old. So we've got all the little alcove bits classed as separate little chapels, which is interesting. See some of the old tiling, which I'm assuming will have been from the Portuguese colonial past, because it looks quite Portuguese in its design. I think I've actually preferred walking around the ruins of this church than the main churches that are probably prettier, which is the one of St Catherine and the Bastille of Bom de Jesus. This one is so much more quiet and serene, and there isn't hundreds and hundreds of tourists. It's a nice little escape from all that, which I wasn't expecting. I thought that this would be just as busy as the other places as well, but it's not. Hello. This is the Viceroy Arch just behind Old Goa before you get to the port. Arch of the Viceroy. This temple is Shree Mangueshi. It kind of reminds me a bit of some of the temples that we visited in Bali a couple of years ago, in the sense that there was a big car park. You walk past a lot of tourist shops that sell bags and sort of like woven bikini tops and things like that before you get to the actual temple itself. The temple itself was more of a working temple, so the offerings when you go in, people selling flowers and fruit, and then you can get a blessing once inside. There's lots of cows around, don't know if you can see that.
Hello ma'am, come please.
Yeah, again, very hot. Not much shelter as you walk into it. The temple was a Hindu temple. You do have to wear a sarong if you go in. This one does have them on offer, so whereas the previous temple I couldn't go inside because I'd forgotten my own. This one you can do a rental for 20 rupees, so not much. It's pennies when it comes to the pounds equivalent. They did say they advised to wear long trousers, but I can't imagine wearing long trousers in this heat, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't know how Clara is managing in her long trousers today. The temple itself is famous for the tall white tower that rises above it. The Shree Mangueshi temple was our last temple of the day. So if you're enjoying our Goa adventures, please do hit that subscribe button and join us next time as we visit Yana and Gorkana. Thank you for watching. Bye.